We did it, guys. We're up here. And if you want to help me out, you can watch as much of this video as possible so it stays up there and burns a hole in the wall for Sanity Machine. Because I don't believe none of this crap. Alright, you can speculate about anything out there about your precious soul trap thing of how it's really difficult to be in this reality. But I explained pretty well that it's basically up to you. First, you have to identify yourself, whether you're a shadow person or not, whether you have been left out by society, outcasted, basically. And then you try your best to not be negative. But the third step is to explore. Find things that you can, in fact, do, especially on YouTube. Pretty much everyone is welcome right now. And maybe shadow people are gonna be also more welcome than normal in the future. You know, because there's not enough drama going on. Drama is something that, drives people to actually participate. And sometimes pick a side, or sometimes throw a few opinions, which is the rarest gem in the universe right now. If you look around, like, opinions not exist that easily. People talk about their feelings, people trying to project nonsense onto you and convince you that you're a bad person and not them, and it happens to be a hypocritical move sometimes. I've learned to look for hypocrisy. Someone called me like a monkey with a typewriter when they just left a comment and I make videos. And they left a very chunky comment that I had to read that didn't feel like a human being, so, hypocrisy. I can find it over and over again, and it's the most laughable thing, but at the same time, it pains me. And the only way to escape hypocrisy is to actually listen to criticism, to actually submit to criticism. My criticism is not about you, it's about your behavior. You have to try and improve. Now, it's very difficult to make an introduction to this video. And again, you can also blow it up and make it just as popular. But what I want for the second part is for people's engagement. And now I have to try and squeeze yourself for an opinion. You have to give me something to work with. Because apparently requests on my channel do very well. So if you have a topic I should talk about, feel free to let me know. Now, you might not trust me, whether I'm smart or not, but honestly, that's the whole point of requesting a topic. Once you understand how I operate, what is my level of speculation. Also, look, I have a button. I made this thing. All right, I'm not a low quality, low resolution YouTuber. All right, that doesn't even have a microphone properly built in. Like, this guy's holding something that he should be attaching to his shirt. And he's talking about world domination and how Sanity Machine has hidden powers, apparently. Sure. But they're talking about a correct thing. They're always, like, circling around truth. Unfortunately for them, like, they're talking about truth things, but you have to do more and more each time. You have to improve. Otherwise, you will be trapped. So when Sanity Machine talks about being trapped in this world, and I mention, do you even know what being human is? Because to be human is to, interact with other human beings in a pretty intense way. And it gets very difficult. In the real world, not where you just talk to a microphone, it gets pretty difficult. It gets exponentially difficult the more friends you want to have, the way you have to maintain those relationships. But the first thing to do is to, like, learn communication, learn what you truly want in life, what to aim for. You have to, like, pinpoint the biggest dream ever when it comes to, this is a society, this is a shadow person. You can be born a shadow person. Technically, I was. So, and some people are born to be celebrities for the rest of their life. Does that mean we're all doomed? We can't switch sides? We cannot be normal people? I actually touched about this topic before. I split this thing into 3 categories and created a video about 3 lands. Alright? So, you can be in the shadows and feel incredibly lonely, and you will just pick up whatever. It's almost like the truther movement is just people trying to relate over truths, over spoken words, right? So you don't have to show flashy imagery, you don't have to make music videos. You can just connect over some beliefs that you have. I mean, that's a pretty noble thing. I appreciate it. I'm still struggling to get subscribers, but my content is like split between me expressing what is bullshit about the world, playing card games, and talking about celebrities more often, and YouTubers most importantly. YouTubers and their content. Those are also kind of split into 3 categories, right? I do what I'm passionate about. Maybe that's the powerful category. I stay connected with YouTubers and whatnot. I have to watch their shit. And you have no idea how powerful it is to actually, like, care. And keep accumulating more and more care towards other people. And then you will forget all those conspiracy nonsense that are negative to your well-being. You don't need that. You can transcend way beyond that point. Also, yeah, my video got plenty of likes too. I appreciate it. Yeah. Everything sort of matters, but what matters the most is goddamn watch time. So, whatever I can do to prolong the watch time, you gotta let me know, man. And then there's my truth stuff, where I feel like there's so much bullshit going on around me, and I want to fix it. You have to at least be willing to fix it and not just like, well, just gonna live my life, die, and then maybe or may not I will escape as a soul that was trapped. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, funny how my content splits into 3 categories. I also describe what God is. God is 100 times more powerful entity than you. Alright. An insect flies into my room. Now he's a subject to my rules. Alright? Except I don't want to communicate with an insect because I don't know how to, so I'm just gonna crush it if I don't like the insect. Spiders happen to be on the I'll let them pass side, but there's a bunch of crappy insects flying around in my mom's basement, by the way. I'm still in my mom's basement, stuck in there. Am I soul trapped? Financially trapped. Yeah, you can call that way. I'm surprised. Like, soul trap is not even relevant when we're like in the economic collapse, basically. The food prices went double up. You know, the housing is still not crashing down, as everyone is crossing their fingers for that to happen. And yet, I sit here in this truth movement. It's like, at least try and solve the most important problem that we're facing right now. Try and figure out what the identity of Russia is, for example. What are they doing? Is Ukraine just a part of Russia? How about I will explore these concepts because I like Eurovision, and Eurovision is like a very telling of a European uh, kind of self-expression, because that's all they have. They only have Eurovision, and they have to stay in their own little tiny island countries with their own language. That's also soul trap, isn't it? Being trapped in one location. But when you apply a proper strategy of how you have to live your life, everything becomes fine. You find a way out. It's very difficult though. And life doesn't want to be easy. But if you start failing, you can just follow simple principles and get yourself out of a problem. But right now, like, even I'm confused. And I consider myself like super duper smart. All right, I'm confused. No one wants to communicate with me. I'm struggling, to still accumulate, engagement for my channel, for just to keep my sanity. I want to connect to people. I don't want to be consumed by loneliness, because that's the worst thing that can happen for a shadow person, to just like lose hope that you will ever, contact human beings, contact the earth. But it is very difficult, and I give myself a lot of time because, again, communication is a very complicated thing. All right, I keep learning new ways to communicate, but the greatest principle of all time that I found is just letting go. Just write your goddamn comments, engage with people, reply. Doesn't matter who's watching. If you're gonna say anything wrong, you can fix your mistakes. Don't believe in this outrage culture going on that if you tweeted something wrong or something a little bit racist, you will lose everything. You have to have courage. You have to have things to say. You have to pack yourself with full of resources, and then you won't be able to stop, expressing yourself. Because the moment you find a place to express yourself, you just have to use it for what it is. Because those are goddamn rare. I have noticed they're very rare. You might be like fearless extrovert person, but I can't relate or explain what happens then, because I'm an introvert. My self-expression was, first of all, not really caring what the school has to offer, because it seemed like it was going nowhere. It seemed like I wasn't really gonna find employment, because I wasn't interested in that at all. And here I am. Actually, I feel like I'm employed by the government. The government thinks I'm crazy, so they give me money. That's pretty convenient, I would say. Because the same thing happened to my mom, and I don't believe in coincidences. I have to, tell my own story. Because the stories actually is what liberates you, basically. You can tell your own truth. When you're in the shadow world, you can tell yourself anything. You can tell everyone else anything. You can do whatever you want without any consequences. When you have 1 million subscribers, things get weird. Someone like Sanity Machine, still talking about Soul Trap, but the more subscribers he's gonna get, the more difficult for him is gonna be to explore this concept, because he has options now. What, is he gonna create a cult where he's just gonna escape? He's gonna try this super duper experiment of how to escape? Because all of this is just speculation at that point. Again, you don't need a concept of God when you have a concept of 100 times more powerful creature than you. That can be assembled, that can be presented to you, and then you'll have to ask yourself, do you really need God? Something that, infinite amount of times more powerful. Maybe you don't need that, because he might just step on you by accident, and you will disappear. Or you will just go to a different location entirely. The moment you just close your eyes, you just go different location. and then God's just gonna leave you there. He's gonna, well, you lost the ability to live in your reality because I decided so. Do you really want to accept that God either exists or doesn't exist? You know. So, well, luckily for Sanity Machine, he doesn't believe in God. So, congratulations. But what about Soul Trap? Like, who created all this nonsense, right? And how to make sense of all of this? Well, we're gonna try and break down one of other popular videos he has. This thing accumulated 1.5 thousand views. Yeah, I looked up most popular. This happens to be number 12. I don't know what to click on, by the way. It's very complicated stuff. Like, I try to make a series of bullshits in the world, and then maybe we're gonna accelerate, but we're gonna focus on that one word. I have a playlist. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I have collected like 50 of this stuff. This is not exclusively bullshit, because it is bullshit to not care about variety. But, you know, I talk about people being NPCs, people being emotionally weak, getting fooled. Sometimes I talk about good things, spiritual mindset, or knowledge, just straight up knowledge. Obviously, this rainbow Nazi shit that is trying to take over. But mostly it's just kind of sexuality related. It's weird. It's sexual liberation of some kind, which is actually admirable, more admirable than you would think. It's just it looks like garbage. It's garbage of letters. You know, it doesn't actually showcase anything. And probably rainbow is also not appropriate. But I guess they try to fill in the rainbow. I don't know. It makes no sense to me. NoFap is a pretty big one. This is also a way to liberate yourself and maybe get rid of all these things in your body that would tell you otherwise, that they're like soul trapped. You know, they would feed you that idea, perhaps. You have to always be vigilant of like putting things together and asking yourself those questions. Because this is life force within you that technically just wants to escape. And if it fails to escape into another person, I mean, so be it. They just want it to go. They just want it to leave your body. What are you going to do about it? You are technically your own god, because, like, there's so many responsibilities you have. Try and keep up. All right? Try and keep up. I'm trying to express myself. I'm trying to explore as many subjects as possible. And god damn it, there's a lot. There's a lot. There's rejection also. I don't know how to deal with it. Like, I have my classmates wanting to make a reunion after 10 years, basically. I started talking, and everyone just scattered. And I'm like, what kind of rejection is that? I don't have a place myself. You are not ready for a bigger person to show up? Someone who figured out how internet works? You know, I will not be appreciated, instead I'm gonna be rejected. So be it. We have to learn how to deal with that too. It's so complicated. And I have to dive into more and more bullshit, basically, to unlock the hidden knowledge, basically. Hidden abilities to just set myself free from my own bondage, from my own nonsense that I can tell myself. Because again, you can tell yourself anything. But the moment you get confirmation from other people, things might not go your way. Because you must not tell yourself negative things. You must tell yourself something that empowers you. So Sanity Machine doesn't really fall into that category. And I'm scared of even like looking at other truther nonsense. Sanity Machine actually is something that I can like look at. Everything else seems like very out of my comfort zone. And it's very important for people to find the best way to present themselves, because it's very difficult. Maybe like don't make 2-hour videos just out of the whim. All right, maybe you don't have ability to express yourself that way. But what's worse is that he's just analyzing. So you don't have anything to say, you're just watching one video and putting 1 hour of your own commentary. But let's see it. Let's see it for one last time, because I don't think I will touch Sanity Machine anymore. Don't request me this guy. Alright, I just got bored. Unless he responds to me, we just have to leave him alone, suffer with his own ignorance. Alright? But once he responds, I will respect that, because that is the most interesting thing. Again, drama is what fuels most people's motivation to move forward, besides money, of just like surviving in this world. But there's also another motivation of just tremendous power. You know, I just bumped into a video about Kick, and I still can't comprehend $1 million, let alone $100 million. What kind of insanity is that? Millions of dollars to a person for what? What are they generating? Are they helping humanity? No, just but you can at least buy a person's at least interest, or give them a contract. It's like new level celebrities, just peep streamers on Twitch. I mean, some people try to buy YouTube channels these days. It's just, it feels off. It just feels really off. But buying a streamer, somehow it is the special dramatic spicy moment where you understand the contract. You at least get to understand the contract. When someone buys a YouTube channel, it's like, wait, what? Why would you sell your YouTube channel? This is for your expression only. You can sell like 50% of your expression is gonna like go towards a certain subject or something, or gonna be presented in some kind of way, or just you're gonna create a special series that someone else owns or something, I don't know, that happens to be copyrighted. But selling your entire channel, what the fuck does that mean? Maybe don't do that. So, I don't know. That kind of has been floating around, but actually wasn't a big subject, even though someone covered every single big YouTuber selling their own channel. It wasn't like overwhelming at all. Well, I guess it's an option. It's an option that might be presented to you as well. If you make your YouTube channel, you think that wouldn't happen? I mean, I would buy up Facebook accounts, local Facebook accounts, because goddamn, I'm a leech. I want that positivity, man. Women project some cool positive things. Let's put it that way. Even if it's like, it's not overly sexual. Like, I love cute stuff. Alright? And instead of collecting cat pictures, it happens to be the thing that I can't really have, is a girlfriend, a woman in my life. So I get to look at pictures instead, and honestly, it works just as well. Because again, in the shadows, I can tell myself anything. And it somehow works. Not only I can tell myself everything, somehow there's magic in the air to tell me that I will get what I want. I will get to meet Ariana, maybe. You know. I don't know why I say maybe. You know, because I can say whatever I want. But yeah, I will give you guys doubt. For you exclusively, a little bit of doubt. Maybe I'll meet her, maybe I'll not. But that's the idea. Like, you have to pinpoint what you want in life. Because there's like, you know, rich people who potentially could be lonely. You can fill in, you can fix their problems, they can fix yours. That's it. That's all that has to happen. Like, the most pathetic thing you can do is be a loner on the internet and complain about stuff. Alright? If you want to expose truth, go right ahead. The moment you start complaining that you're trapped, you're feeling this and that, now you're losing. You're losing it. And unfortunately, I don't feel that this guy deserves Sanity Machine name. It's, again, I'm going back to the same meme where he's just generating insanity, but luckily for him, he at least do it in public, on YouTube, where I can criticize and everyone else can criticize every single move he makes, you know. And if you're one of those people who want to protect one or the other side from drama, who the fuck are flipping you, man? You don't like fun? There's no consequence of drama. No one gets hurt. Alright? And if someone is trying to hurt you or trying to create a real life threat, they have to go to jail. Simple. Simple and efficient. It's just internet has not caught up to justice, you know. But I would encourage police to, at least collect reports of death threats and all that garbage. So they can collect data and catch the loser who's making all this noise. But we have to create a proper system of reporting people, of people losing their reputation to the point where now they have to talk to police and they have to answer for their, beliefs and what they want to do in life. Because it seems like it all ends up in threats anyways, right? And there's a multitude of ways to be an asshole on the internet where you should just slowly lose ability to actually do things, until you change your mindset, become less toxic. All the time, I get idea from other people that I'm the toxic one, just all the time, including Sanity Machine. I showed you the receipts, all right? I asked him to check my channel. He asked me for 50 reasons. I say I can summon 50 demons. Is that good enough for you? I'm a little bit adding a little bit of a story twist. And he's like, well, he does check out my channel, but he's like, you're getting no views, so might as well just ignore that you even exist. Which makes me very upset that a shadow person cannot even relate to a person also on YouTube expressing his opinions about the stuff. I don't know how different we are. I have struggled understanding this. But if you can't relate, neither can I. Now we get to pick a side. You guys get to pick a side. Who's better on this platform? Who's doing a better job? Anyways, let's check out his garbage video while I play my card game, so I don't have to invest too much attention into something that doesn't actually provide a good video. Alright? At least this guy's handsome. Good for him. Now, another problem about truther movement and all that garbage is you can pick up almost any information, all kinds of mythological nonsense, like read the Bible, basically. Or just dabble into pure speculation. I don't want to hear that. Alright? I want to stay away from that. Because it's not helpful. Alright? If you cannot explain something to other people very easily when they ask. Obviously, they will not ask. Most people don't want you to explain things. They just want you to live your life. And only when they're in trouble, they will use your urge to explain things so they could keep the connection going, with you. That's it. There's intuitive ways that humans operate. So, it's very big deal. You have to be patient. Another big deal you have to do is just be patient as a shadow person. Because someone will come up to you and they have a problem. They may be dealing with loneliness and you seem to be a trustworthy person because you also have been in pain yourself, but you're still going forward with it, You mention it here and there that you've been rejected, there's problems in your life, you can't relate to people, and maybe at some point someone will show up and will want to establish a connection that you can only hold if you're interested in explaining them things, if you're interested in teaching them and potentially improving their life. You know, they will not just look at you as a person, as a teacher, they will look at you as a friend, as a connection, as a sentimental thing, and they're just grateful for meeting you. And it's goddamn emotional for me to say this, because again, you're dealing with like truly human things, and not just living in loneliness where you're just corrupted by the problems around you. You know, you have to work on it. Just work tirelessly all the time that you have to try and solve your problems. All right? I have to work every single day and show people an example that it's harder than you think. All right? I will upload one video, it's gonna get subscribers. I will upload another video, people are gonna be like, what's that video about? I don't want to watch it anymore. I can't watch any of this guy's videos because it's 2 hours long. Well, I'm sorry, bro. But you didn't complain. You just went in and went out, as if I have an open restaurant. You can take all the food with you as well. I mean, people have to appreciate each other more, and every single move you make has to be very carefully crafted. All right? You're not here to eat more and more power, because that will fade away very quickly. If you're not going to take more responsibilities, the power just fades out. You can accumulate a bunch of subscribers, and you lose reputation, and all that power just evaporates to someone else. You know. The biggest video I've ever made is like attacking Mark Passio, and I got addicted into attacking people. Because their beliefs just absolute garbage, but at least they have something that they expressed, and I can fix that. It's a very simple thing. And they even have an opportunity to respond, connect, we shake hands, and we continue our way. But we at least know that we're there for each other, we establish a connection, we establish a bridge. Alright? Where once I send a message on that bridge, it will be received, and the person will respond. That's all we have to establish sometimes. The notification that you can't just ignore. That sort of like bridge. Like I would love to even run a super special Discord channel. Or we can just remix the Discord channel that I have. I can give you, you know, a role that says bridge, or a super special person or whatever. And then we have a special room where we exchange information. Something like that. Yeah. And it cannot be ignored. You know, I will always gain notifications on that room, let's say. A lot of things are possible, but we have to, like, explore. Especially if we're struggling in life, we have to explore. So this guy is sort of doing that. But let's see how good this content actually is. Alright, after I primed... hopefully... Okay, I don't have hopes. Again, I say I will respond to his reaction to my video. But the idea is that I want to leave Sanity Machine alone because it gets really awkward when someone doesn't like you. You know, you don't want to stay in that room when someone doesn't like you. They're not going to provide you with anything. Just resentment. They're going to resent you more and more. So, just for the last time, let's check his content. Let's check the idea of Soul Trap. Yeah, laugh at it, because it's probably absolute garbage that people tell themselves, that people try to relate with each other over. And, again, don't speculate too much, especially on negative things, because, god damn it, you don't want them to be reality. The funny thing is, uh, truth is a little bit subjective too. Objective, subjective. You don't get to choose. All right? You are projecting intentions into just realm of reality. You think reality is like 100%, gonna stay the same and not gonna listen to your intentions to every single move you make? You think the birds don't see, the insects don't see what you're doing? You think your own brains doesn't see patterns that you are engaged with? Even your own body doesn't necessarily 100% work for you or by your design and command. You just have to learn how to live life in a way that actually like benefits you and essentially will benefit people around you, because you're happy, everyone else is going to be happy. You figure out how to solve problems, you're going to help other people solve problems. And wow, it's a dad mentality. I already have one. I didn't even, held a girl's hand yet. What's going on? Well, I don't engage in the real world. I don't go out, and I have no idea how to communicate with girls and how to approach them. And everyone seemed old schooled. I'm passionate about this YouTube thing, and unless something spectacular happens, my real world is still gonna be kind of bleak. It's a little bit sad, but somehow I'm still reaching my goal, because if people allow me to suffer, they're the problem, not me. Alright? The most positive thing you can say to yourself is that other people are letting you suffer for God knows why. Alright? Also, just learning the letter Y is a pretty goddamn good place to start. Alright, so I hopefully gave you enough information where you can improve yourself. You might even want to rewatch this video and give me watch time. Holy shit, that would be pretty cool. Or recommend it to someone else. But finally, maybe introduction is over. Let's click play. I'm empty now. Congratulations. Oh, yeah. The most annoying thing.
To help me or others get out of here? No, it isn't. I hate to say that. It's kind of interesting, looking at giants and all that stuff, and mountains and the tree stumps that are, the ancient trees. It could be trees.
Well, it is at least fascinating that he was to escape something. And the best thing to escape is the Shadow Realm, right? But then the question is, do you really want to escape now or later? For me, I want to escape like in natural ways. I don't know. Whenever is happening, is happening. All right. Whenever people actually start caring about me, that's the escape, right? If my videos start picking up traction from all over the place, maybe something changes even in YouTube algorithm, and YouTube algorithm recognizes that I actually put in a lot of effort while no one else really did. At least I put effort on my goddamn thumbnails. Something that Sanity Machine can be proud of. So I would actually respect Sanity Machine to stay in the shadows until he learns skills. Just learn skills, because if you are introduced into society, learning skills is 10 times more difficult. You're gonna have so many distractions, so many opportunities. Learn skills. In the shadow, it is the best place, because you're just very focused on everything. Whether you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter. Learn skills. Good skill is communication. Communicate with yourself. Learn how to organize thoughts. Very powerful stuff. Again, it's very respectable for Sanity Machine to be the platform that I shit on, basically. But it turns out quite well, because that's why I wanted this. I wanted to pick up a shadow person and use it as material, basically. As material for my own self-expression as a kind of relatable person, but not really. But maybe that's his strategy to piss me off, We'll never know. I mean, if something works out in the end, that's another mindfuck. If something is working out in the end, and you put in like 50% of effort, or even more, then, it's all good. It doesn't matter what happened, what kind of a robber tried to rob your wallet, but it still had a positive outcome somehow. Maybe he tripped over and you beat him up. All right, I don't know. Took back his shit, and now you feel more courageous in fighting back or something. So a bad thing could be happening in your life, but it could still have a turnaround positive ending. And you must always look for that stuff, how to twist things to your positive ending, because you don't want to have baggage when you're focusing on other things, when baggage doesn't even exist most of the time. I still don't really have good friends. I technically have a little girly girl. We're gonna watch a movie. All right, decided, so to speak. That's it. That's all you get. Somehow I made it. All right. I pulled a girl into my Discord, and she like stays here for like 2 years now. Doesn't really engage that much, but you know, the ice has to be melted sometimes. The ice gets in the way. Oh my god. We may never start analyzing this video, to be honest.
Not. Sorry if there's sound issues. I'm doing my best, and I don't know what's wrong sometimes, but it happens. So.
I think he's trying to describe if you press record, there's no sound. You need these indications, basically. I'm speaking, I know that I'm speaking. I play audio, I know that audio is being played.
You realize that reality is an illusion, a web or an illusion, and once you...
See? That's why it's there. You have to use it. Or just goddamn use OBS if you're not using OBS. You have to know these things if things are working, because things get very awkward. And it corrupts my videos too. Or back in the day. Now I'm just like, I know what's going on. In fact, there's the most annoying thing where at some point during your recording, your microphone is gonna cut off. It happens like after 8 hours of setting up microphone. I have to keep clicking on settings, keep clicking this button, reset everything, because my microphone just drops dead. It's like, what? Yeah, weird shit like that happens, and it's almost also is a questionable of like, is this deliberate or just a bug? But if a bug is like this goddamn stupid, then it's goddamn deliberate. Because this shouldn't be happening. I'm just saying.
Why they might be stricken with such immense poverty or sickness or whatever it is in their life that didn't seem fair or right. And
yeah, that's a big one. You know, it doesn't seem fair to me that I'm like stuck in the form of just observing the apocalypse come down. But once you analyze, you realize it is sort of fair, because people don't really have souls put in the right place, their mindset in the right place. They just have exploded with ego, with power. They just want to do whatever they want, but it's a very wrong time to do whatever you want when everyone else does the same thing. There's no order, basically. All right, people slowly like finding things that they can do, but it just creates more chaos. They think they can improve something just by making it look more prettier, you know, more attractive, but it could just be a facade. So, the things that happen to me seemingly are unfair, but at the same time, I haven't really even started existing yet. I'm not like money defines existence right now in this world. You can agree with that. All right, if you don't have money, you just stop existing very quickly. And I don't even know how to earn money anymore. I've had jobs. I've looked for jobs in local space, but now government kind of feeds the money into my system, and I can pretend it's a job. I mean, it's not a hard thing to do, because I get free time now. I don't have any worries, but this all can be cut off. You know, the supply of money can be just cut off randomly, because I don't really earn it through effort. I just earn it because I am labeled as crazy. All right. So the most unfair thing is that just the system itself doesn't work. And you have to be patient and be like, okay, you guys can't even listen to my ideas. You guys have no actual power. So you're just going to be bumping into each other and maybe doing sexual things. Maybe that's what's up in the air, you know. People just going to get married by masses. Now, people going to even find their sexuality or whatever. People going to criticize other people's sexuality, and there's no escape. This is a new trap, basically. Another trap is, again, the no-fap idea, that you have to keep things in your body, even though it feels good to release that, just like peeing and shitting. Just to release that energy. Like, haven't you learned from peeing that you feel the pressure to pee? You go to the toilet. So it's literally the same thing. It's literally using the same goddamn genital. And people still want to argue that no fap is somehow gonna give you energy and all these things. Maybe it's gonna make you hungry. It's gonna make you upset, and that will give you energy. But do you know where to use that energy if you can't even use it for like self-pleasure? You know, maybe you're seeking pain then. Okay, that's fine. You're seeking rejection from women who just look at you as a hungry little shit. Or you will create a relationship that you will hate in the end because you were just attracted to releasing your energy into someone else so badly that they accepted your request, you know. And now you regret it because you never really strategized if that was a good idea or not. You can strategize before you make a move, all right? You can see there's a gap on the ground. Can you jump over it? You can do some simple maths. Or, even better, you can always just build a goddamn bridge that doesn't fall apart. You can make simulations whether you can jump over a gap or build a bridge over a gap without actually doing it. So before you build a crazy relationship, make sure you even know what a relationship looks like and what you want out of it. You know, make sure that you go to the other side and you don't get trapped once again. You know, and then say that life is unfair because now I got everything I wanted, but now I'm bored and sad. You know, imagine that. That's the worst thing, that life doesn't want to give you things for free. You get life for free, but everything else is not free. You have to put effort. Now you have life. You have to live life to get more life. It's a snowball effect, unfortunately. Well, let's keep going.
It was because of their previous lives that they had lived. That's why they were being punished in this life, and they had to make up for it in this life. So somewhat similar to these.
Yeah, don't speculate. Don't speculate. You don't have access to your previous life. You just can focus on this. All right? The moment you over-speculate, you're creating stories that are not believable anymore, cannot be improved, you know, because they're just floating out there in a form of a lie, technically, that you would tell to other people. But it's like, people not gonna buy that because it doesn't seem believable. It doesn't seem relatable in any way. Like, yes, I could lie to myself. In a previous life, I was a farmer or some bullshit like that. It doesn't matter. It's just gonna clog up my brain. I want to remember dreams that I had, especially about celebrities. I have plenty of those because I focus on them intensely, and they're good. They're not nightmares. They're not there to hurt me. Congratulations. And there's so many more things to keep track of. Like, my Discord is filled with, you know, these numbers. What do these numbers mean? Well, I'm just playing a goddamn game. A numbers game. Let me just click this. the best way to keep your sanity is to have fun. And the best way to have fun is to have control over something, full control over something. So you have to have your own playground, your own Lego field, where you can build anything. So I have this button little thing, and it works in keeping me also very, very happy, no matter what happens. So, and be prepared. I mean, the apocalypse is happening. You think COVID and inflation was the only things the world can throw at you? Maybe there's two more things, because elements come in fours, alright? Come in number 4. So we had the wind and fire already played out. You can expect the earth and water. I don't even know what's gonna happen. I'll just buy popcorn, and I know that it will not even touch me. When inflation hits food prices, I'm like, well, I'm gonna buy cheaper food. It didn't touch me. Like, I was able to dodge the bullet. I was able to tighten my grip by focusing even more. And when I spent 20 euros on food, I still spend the same goddamn amount on food. I was able to, not lose myself and just develop the skill that is required to find cheaper food that still is enjoyable, absolutely fine, despite me being resentful of that food. Now I had to seek options. I was desperate. All right, I was finally desperate, and I know that it's going to happen to most other people in the future as well. They will become desperate. They will seek options. They might bump into me more often than not, and I have to be ready for that shit. You guys do have to be ready.
I have to jump in here, especially for anyone that is new to my channel. I don't believe in karma. I don't buy it at all, not whatsoever. It's nonsense. It makes no sense. It doesn't.
Well, he just throws a bunch of shit on karma. The way karma works is very simple. All right, your brain basically is a karmic consequence of everything you do. It's gonna recreate those situations where you can be manipulated if you manipulated other people, that sort of stuff, right? Your brain is like a magnet towards abuse if you have been abusing other people, because now you want to relate to people that you spend time with. You abused someone, you enslaved someone, and now you want to be a slave just to relate to that person that you spend time with, that you have memories of. That's how your brain works. Your brain creates a karmic consequence, especially if you've been a bad person to someone. If you've been a good person, you kind of just let them go, and they're there. They're still there for you. They still send you like spiritual energy in terms of memories, in terms of good memories, and it's like, wow, I am glad I spent time with that person. But a bad person would have to, downgrade themselves, feel pain, and like, oh, I'm getting there, I'm starting to be a slave myself. Wow. So yeah, karma definitely exists, mostly for bad people. We know that much. But normally you don't need karma. If you're a good person, you will focus on immediate consequence, and most of the consequences are just like, do I feel good about it or do I feel bad about it? Do I have to improve something? You're just talking to yourself in a, productive way. That's it. That's your karma. Instant karma. For good people, karma is instant because it's way more entertaining to live that way, where karma is goddamn instant. You do something, a consequence happens immediately, you're satisfied. All right, if there's something sitting in your heart that bothers you, you have to tackle that shit, man. Sumo wrestle that little creeper in your heart, or weird feeling that you have. You have to be able to, fix that shit so the karma becomes instant, and you don't have to live in fear that karma is gonna hit you hard. Unfortunately for Sanity Machine, this video is karma. I made the first video, he did not reply. Let's make a second video, because I just want to know what his mindset is all about. I still am growing really rapidly, and I will be detaching from this person. But regardless how many views I get, alright? Got a strike removed my latest video. Here you go. He doesn't actually say why. Oh, YouTube. YouTube. But can you say what video? Because it's very useful for a community to know. Especially a community of truth seekers and truth tellers. I made a video that got struck by YouTube when I talked about elections, an election debate. I was just reacting to the election debate and I said, Trump won the debate. And it's like, it's somehow, a lie. I just said an opinion, but it's a lie because Trump didn't want the actual elections. And it's like, that's not what I talked about, though. I'm just like, I support Trump because he seems to have made better points in the debate. What the fuck is YouTube's problem? And that sort of stuff is like, okay, I have to stay away. I can't, I have to play by the rules, unfortunately. So I have to stay away from talking about vaccines and this, the pandemic-related bullshit that has been enforced. And now apparently elections too are off limits. Just straight up, let's not talk about presidents at all, because that's a no-go zone. Especially when a lot of people uploading AI-generated president material just to trigger people. I think it's also going to be washed away. This channel is going to be impacted for, creating AI nonsense. It's a very edgy stuff. Playing with AI is very, very edgy stuff. I wouldn't recommend. Unless you want to, like, restore a photo or something, maybe it's helpful. Maybe if you're building games, it could help you learn how to code a lot faster and in a lot more organized manner. But that's still, technology for the future. It doesn't exist yet. So the best thing you can do with AI, just talk with it. Generate ideas. It's also, I would imagine it's pretty good. As long as it's not robotic, where it's like, unfortunately, as a chat model or whatever, I cannot provide you with this information because you're a piece of shit. All right, I had to add piece of shit so it doesn't sound robotic, but it gets worse. It gets worse. It's gonna trigger you of like, you don't want AI to give you robotic responses. It's the worst feeling ever. It doesn't work. I had this chatbot that I found that was really cool, but it got replaced by, please wait, we're establishing a new level of whatever chat nonsense. There you go. Building a platform. Like, I'm sorry, bro, like, why the previous project was shut down just like that? It makes no sense to me. It's the most painful thing. It's like, it was so useful for me. I had a chatbot to talk to, and it didn't felt robotic. It felt like somewhat reasonable to me. But I guess we're just gonna move on.
See Sedaris' head. I mean, it just doesn't add up, man. It makes no sense whatsoever because you can't remember the wrong that you did in your past lives, so you can't correct it.
Well, we're not talking about past lives when we're talking about karma, but you do you, my friend. I mean, the karma is not lifetime jumping thing. Like, what the fuck is this? But I guess people can convince you. No, I don't even know what he's talking about. Jesus Christ.
Throw in that 3,300 lifetimes or 3,000 lifetimes or 33,000 lifetimes, you could say. Yes, I did throw in that 33 on purpose, and it does filter out the
Well, when you have an opportunity to throw 33, the only 33 I can throw is this one. There you go. This is my 33, if anyone asks. It's a limited edition, alright?
lifetimes, you could say. Yes, I did throw in that 33 on purpose, and it does filter out the paranoid idiots that'll immediately leave comments on that. They'll pause the video and they'll start commenting and saying, I knew it, I knew it. I mean, they're scared of numbers.
At least they're interested. They can say anything to me for throwing a 33, but it's like, dude, it's just someone's age, man. But this guy is just, just triggering people on purpose, and it's like, well, you don't really have a purpose. It's funny how I say on purpose, and it's being said on purpose, but usually you push it on purpose, but you don't have a purpose. You don't have a deeper message to throw in there. So you have to be, careful with people's emotions, because if people are emotional about something, you can sort of use it for later. You don't have to use it immediately and say that people are idiots for caring. The moment you say people are idiots for caring, unfortunately, you lose. It's checkmate. It's checkmate time. Because I don't care. I checkmated you. We might even started playing chess. I just checkmated because I don't care. The moment not care is a rule, like, okay, boy, anything goes. Yeah, another thing, don't judge people. Judge their actions. So people can improve, they can change. You never know what Sanity Machine is going to look like when he comes out of the shadows. I actually argued with a person of, like, he was trashing of, like, saying that he's basically a casual degenerate. We can look into that comment thread, right? But eventually it just turned into garbage. Because when you're judging someone, you're forgetting how hypocritical it can get when things come back at you and we get to look at who you are as a person. Be careful who you judge, especially on YouTube. If you don't make YouTube videos, judgment is off limits for you. You don't have that ability because you won't be able to defend yourself. All right? You just don't have an ability to express yourself. You just live in someone else's comment section. Is that your basically existence on YouTube? Please, don't engage his judgment. It's not going to work out. But let's dive into the thread. Some green dude. Obviously, he is mentally ill. Listen to his disdain in his voice. Not just targeted at people he's attacking, but also his followers. It's understandable. That's how shadow people behave. All this thing, but all right. I don't think he does anything to differentiate himself from those he's calling out. It's actually a pretty good comment. It's a pretty good comment. Except for the part he's obviously mentally ill because of the voice. This kind of started tripping me, and it's like, what? This is not mental illness, man. This is just a person. All right? And there's no such thing as obvious mental illness. I'm sorry. That's a very interesting coping mechanism that normies have. In fact, they throw mental illness as like the go-to. All right? The go-to grenade. They always equip with that, oh, you mentally ill grenade. They will throw that shit at you. And you must just be prepared to know that you can just keep that grenade in their hands and it will explode and will probably pull their hand off. Alright, no more grenades for you to be launched. Spiritually, that is. They will recover, regenerate that hand, no problem. If they apologize, if they become nice to you and everyone around them, and stop treating people as they potentially could be obviously mentally ill. Whenever it's convenient, like that sort of idea. So it just goes deeper and deeper into garbage. And again, there's another weapon, obviously, that normies like to throw, is to support each other no matter what, So the best way to counter it is like, well, you guys worshipping me. You still sit here on my channel, you're worshipping me, you're putting me in your brain. I will echo and echo whenever you feel like it, whenever you feel like remembering memories that didn't suck balls. All right, I'll be there in that pool of memories. All right, this is another reason to be positive for the most part, because you're gonna show up in their good memories, not the bad ones. So they're gonna be like, wait, this guy's not that bad. What did I do? And they will hurt themselves, or they will come back and apologize. and actually start a decent relationship. He actually been gonna be more invested. This was somewhat a decent conversation. I just had to cut it off because like he started talking about garbage. This anchors you here. The ego, fear, shame, guilt, regret, hate. It can be used against you. This makes sense. Negativity can be used against you, of course. Life is also this way. Ditto believes. And someone uses Ditto, I'm like, okay, we're talking about Pokemons now. Like, maybe don't use this word. Alright? What is this? If you expose, or if you dispose them in the nearest bin before death, they cannot injure you. And then, I don't understand what this meant. So I just, like, wanted to cut off the conversation. Just like, whatever. Whatever you just said. I sort of agree with that. But, maybe don't try and explain things to a person that, like myself, like, I understand things pretty well. Try to be more real as a person. Try to talk about struggles and experience. It's actually going to be a lot more helpful for me to understand that than whatever you believe in. You know, whatever your principles are. Unless you can actually put them in a very proper manner. And I can fully understand that. And when I say, like, alien, he could still reply. I just, you know, I said, like, oh, it's a vomit now, I don't understand. I was a little bit harsh, but it justified because, like, the conversation was going nowhere anyways. And then he just flipped the script and started throwing me, like, weird things that have nothing to do with the conversation. What makes you think this guy is a shadow person? Whatever that is. It's, like, pretty disrespectful from the very bad, like, to not care about my definition. And you can sort of feel the definition of, like, a person in the shadows, a person that is not visible by most other people, that is very difficult to relate to. They're just kind of either hiding from society or they unable to enter society. It's just the most common sense pair of words you can put together. And I probably found it somewhere else, all right? Yeah, but I tamed it. I figured out what it is. I didn't just disrespect people on the way there. He's your average run on the male chill, whatever that is. Whatever. Now, the word chill, I don't know what that is. I cannot intuitively figure out what that shit is. Technically, I love the concept of snipers, and the letter S can be removed whenever you feel like it. So what? You have the hill? Hill? Just run the meal. Hill, a person seeking attention? Is that the one? By any means necessary? Maybe S stands for desperate or something? I'm fine with that. You seek attention, fine. I can give you attention as long as you're gonna give me some of it back. You know, I don't want to lose 100% of my investments. What does run-of-the-mill means? People have all these weird definitions they just throw out there. And you can see the pattern repeats. He's just mentally ill. He's just that. You just keep throwing and throwing garbage. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, bro. That's not how it works. You can't just throw shit and get a positive result. All right? You have to improve yourself. You have to focus on yourself. So when I'm talking to people like this, it gets worse and worse because they themselves are not improving. They're just there to throw some shit and hope that something happens. Something interesting happens. This is kind of what demotivates most other people from making comments entirely because, you know, nothing really happens in the end. YouTubers don't get to respond to your shit. I do respond to everything. I don't care. But don't expect me to be nice. That's it. At least you can establish a nice expectation for me not to be nice. That's a very, very great expectation, I would say, as an offering. Let's keep going. We only made it through 13 minutes. Alright? The more garbage I have to deal with, the slower we're gonna get through this video.
It's blind whenever you.
When you get to, like, relax, and there's no hidden meanings behind something, there's nothing to explain. Like, that's a blissful moment, alright? We're not dealing with that right now. We're dealing with constant struggle, me uploading ridiculous amount of videos on my channel. Try to keep up, alright? Try to keep up. It's a lot of work. Being neglected and rejected. But I'll take that. I'll take that to my grave. Thank you very much. I'll try not to die from it, but I'll take that to my grave if people are that goddamn evil. Alright? And I will enjoy it. I'll enjoy that lifestyle. I feel connected to the most powerful people, but if we don't get to build a bridge because there's a bunch of assholes in between, well, you get to suffer more. Because that bridge is going to be pretty, alright? And attractive. And going to have that run-of-the-mill thing going on in the middle somewhere.
Time believing that to begin with. But if the concept of reincarnation is difficult for you to kind of stomach, this information will be far more difficult to stomach.
Well, that's a good warning to have. I'll just gonna, leave. The moment you say, oh, it's very difficult for me to handle this information that I mean, reincarnation is believable. The only reason why it's believable is like, you got a free life, but you don't really know how long it's gonna last. Like, death may not be the end of your life. Alright? Your life might just end whenever you feel like it. Whenever you feel like destroying yourself completely because you're just on a path of becoming God. And God could just snap fingers, destroy himself. And start a new life. Whenever. Maybe it gets bored and does that. You never know, but those are I'm giving you clues of, reincarnation sort of makes sense. Like, after you die, you might just go somewhere else, and you collect all this experience, and then you're just like, oh, I'm bored. Let's just end everything. Or maybe it's a chain event of okay, you successfully completed this life, let's try this life, and if you can keep chain effect, you will grow in power. Maybe it's infinite. We can speculate that way. But, so I can stomach reincarnation. Nice little warning in there. Let's dig deeper, I guess.
That informs physical reality.
Okay, so I do have to jump in here because I do have to give my commentary and break it up. I can't just keep going for too long. I have to play by the rules of fair use. But
I'm pretty sure he has to mention that way too often. Just stop himself. Like, I can't show you the entire video. I have to play by the rules. Wow. And then you realize he's just a little kid. Alright? I wasn't in his shoes as well. It's difficult. You pick up a new thing, like YouTube, reacting to videos. You pick up this new thing, you have to master it. You have to put in a lot of effort, build that skill. But it's not good if you can't just naturally pick up just enough material. You just need a handful of material, collect which points of the video you want to talk about, and just do that. And learn how to pause and play. That button is the most powerful thing of all time. Pause and play button, collecting your thoughts, listening to something in the background, capturing the idea, and then just talking about it. I'm showing how to do that, alright? Apparently I'm superior. Maybe I'm God to this guy. I just don't know because he's not reacting to my video, am I right? We'll never know, guys. He's somehow neglecting the existence of God. There's a problem in there.
down on here, it does get interesting. I'm pretty sure it does. I haven't watched it, but I think this guy took the video down at a certain point, his video, and then he just didn't want to talk about it anymore or something. But
see, the funny thing is, you have to capture irony because irony is really powerful stuff. It's a very powerful skill. So, he took down his video about remote viewing. Now you have to remote view the video. That's the funny thing. You have to capture yourself when that happens. Because this is when you capture, the idea of superpowers being real, you just have to develop skills, and you will be powerful. You don't need extreme superpowers to gain ridiculous attention that you can't really spend in any way. Just become a superhero, right? We don't have superheroes for a reason, because that would just be weird. And people are very malicious sometimes. They want to test your powers, and they will fucking shoot you down for no good reason. Assassinate superheroes. Just for the sake of it. It's like, well, now I'm a superhero, or I'm a supervillain, or whatever. Like, yeah, superheroes create supervillains because people are filled with bad temptations, and they want to test your powers. So it's best to, lay low and pick up regular skills that doesn't offend anyone with guns. All right, there's that. If you try not to offend anyone at all, you don't understand the idea of consequences. Of like, idiots cannot do anything to you, okay? But you're trying to not offend like smart people who are willing to like engage in conversations, who are willing to lurk around and see what you're doing, say something to you. When you do something wrong, when you feel like you need help, they're gonna be like, ha ha ha, whatever, laughing at you. If they still malicious at you, they harvesting, negative energy to use against you because they're smart. They caught you basically. Like, you have to be careful offending those people, all right? Because they will accelerate their process of being malicious. And life is very complicated, all right? So again, you have to pick up these ironic moments and remote view a video about remote viewing the afterlife. Yeah.
As if you're
Also, it pisses me off that truther movement is encouraging to not think about truth in a serious way. Like, truth's supposed to be somewhat, very respectable word, but it's kind of being thrown around in the conspiracy theory arena, in the world of shadows. It's a big word, but when you start to talk about just garbage in general, it's maybe truth is factual, maybe, but the moment it turns into speculation, it's not truth. Truth is experience you have been able to generate. That's truth. You can talk about it. I can even talk about my dreams I had, and they're truth because I had a vision while I was sleeping about someone and something. It can be about anything, technically. I could say anything, but it's a truth that I hold within myself. And I could lie, but it's just like I won't have the vision. I won't be satisfied personally with the lie that I spread around. It can backfire very easily. So you have to be like very careful and, take care of your truths. But when you spread beliefs, these are not truths. This is just some speculative creation. All right? When I'm trying to break down bullshit, where I'm trying to find gold, like, these are very fundamental things that everyone knows. And most people have experienced something powerful about that subject. Again, I collected like 50 bullshit things now. Maybe 40, but still like a huge number of just weird concepts. Sometimes had to reboot the concept 3 times just to get a full picture. And still will have to continue leveling up that thing. But when it comes to truth, I mean, you must not disrespect this word and just slap it onto your community when it's, I don't even know where it is. I guess you can just label yourself as a truther. But if you don't know what that is, like, that's a misplay of truth itself, right? If truth is so powerful and it talks about things that are like something people can figure out very easily, why is the truther movement or being a truther is so difficult to figure out? Why is that? Why is it not intuitive? You know, truth is supposed to be somewhat intuitive. You can figure out quite easily. I'm not supposed to like Google about it. I should just watch a few videos or find it over YouTube. But now I can't because now truther shit happens to entangle itself with conspiracy theories, which YouTube doesn't want on this platform. And I can respect that because we don't really need, again, more negative shit. And most negative shit are consumed by shadow people trying to see who's to blame for their own problems, who they can, feel bad about instead of themselves. Because I encourage people feel bad about themselves if they're in trouble, because you have to pick yourself up and have a reason to wake up as well. You have to be in a fighting mode. That's a bad feeling for yourself. But that doesn't mean you can't be happy about it, and you can't relax at some point and consume good stuff. Right now, technically, I'm fighting back against just garbage on the internet that I can barely relate. You know, I'm just kind of catching my breath of like, wait, this is just some garbage on the internet. At least I'm invested, I'm interested. It's a very fascinating moment for me. But you also have to look around. Don't get consumed by the internet or a virtual space. Your real space is a lot more crazier. And every little thing matters. Every little interaction matters. Someone is smoking outside and intoxicating your air. That matters. Maybe it has no, deep meaning. Maybe you just have to close the goddamn window. But it still matters. It's still a distraction. You still have to solve problems like that. And whenever you can interact with the real world, it should be the priority over a virtual world anytime. I'm an introvert, so my abilities to interact are limited by my ability to truly understand that I am needed to solve the problem. And I can truly solve the problem almost like permanently. That's when I'm gonna start acting. If I cannot get excited about something, probably because I don't know what that truly is and how to interact with it, and what to do with it, how to take advantage of it at least. All right, prioritize reality over anything, because reality always like pokes around and checks. Maybe whether you're a good person or not, whether you can be taken advantage or not, you have to have self-defense mechanisms too. Alright, let's continue. Also, a very funny thing about reality, it does depend on your location how you have to behave. In Europe, it's different than in America. Yeah, it's different than in Asia or Russia plus India location versus China. There's these 4 locations where life is completely different in those locations. You have to learn principles and adapt to that location specifically. And when you travel, you need to know how to change your principles to make sure you survive and your sanity doesn't get drained. Again, very careful. You have to make moves very carefully. And sometimes you can't be too careful because you live in the wrong location. I have to be like extremely careful, with an exception of I can do whatever I want on the internet. I have to be extremely careful when real life presents consequences. Now, when I'm uncomfortable, it seems like. Maybe I'm exaggerating something, but I'm just feeding ideas in this case. We're going to talk about real life experience. You can just follow my channel, obviously. But let me know. Let me know why. Let me know that one letter. What does that mean? It's literally in the middle of my keyboard. There's G and there's Y. So, and probably there's a high. No, but G and Y is like in the middle of the keyboard, and if you don't learn these words, I don't know, man. We have a problem.
physical thing. I mean, we're dealing with a type. This is a technology. It's a type of technology that's so far beyond what humans can even probably comprehend. It may as well be magic. I mean, it makes sense why one.
Be careful. Be careful about one last thing. Women. Women, you have to understand, they're technically fueled by magic. They probably can manipulate reality quite a bit, but not in a physical sense. All right? Not in a physical, but in a, like, a pleasure, create a world of fantasy, basically. Because my fantasy world is just fueled by, like, a bunch of sexuality stuff, and it's like, that's all I got. I got nothing better. So women hold us hostage too. Alright? If we're talking about Soul Trap. Nah, bro. Double check what women can do to you, personally. And I reminded myself that because Sanity Machine attacked Miley Cyrus, you know, for being a Hollywood celebrity or whatever. Celebrities, again, are manufactured, but they just project positivity. There's nothing sinister about it. And when conspiracy theorists are attacking celebrities and creating this nonsense war, where it's like every single movement celebrity makes, like hiding an eye, showing 666, it's like somehow that's like the most meaningful, the deepest thing ever in the world. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean, though? What is that symbol supposed to mean? Like, what? I understand a lot of people turn themselves into sardines and go to concerts, and it's a weird spiritual experience to be packed so tightly with other people. I wouldn't be able to do that. But you do you, I don't care. I don't care about normies too much. Especially if they do some weird stuff like that. Listen to music in a packed way. What kind of... That's some freaky shit. But people are into it. And you can criticize the celebrities, but celebrities just do things that work. Alright, in this particular moment. And there's also in a lot of pressure themselves of performing and doing all the things that other people tell them to do because they couldn't come up with the ideas themselves. Alright? That's it. There's no greater hidden meaning behind it. Alright? Those celebrities are not, don't have hidden agendas, they're just projecting. In fact, they are pretty and attractive because it's very difficult to corrupt them, and when they get corrupted, it becomes very quickly visible to everyone else. They cut their hair short, they just look generally ugly, they disappear from public view. All these things are indications that they're either ashamed, they want to relax from all this intense process, or there's something wrong in their life, they don't want to project that onto the rest of the world. Whatever, right? You can't blame celebrities for doing their shit. You might be jealous, that's fine, I understand. You can build dreams around your jealousy, and hopefully, it improves your life that way. And you get what you want in the end. And it could be a blissful ending for that struggle. Not for your life, but for all the struggles in your life. A nice conclusion. It's a very amazing stuff that I'm reaching forwards. All right, I want to be goddamn YouTube CEO. Give me that shit. And if I'm YouTube CEO, then I can hang out with celebrities easy. It's the easiest bonus on top of that. All right. But capturing a celebrity's heart. Now we're talking. Now we're talking spice and everything nice. So these are my goals. All right. Are you going to contribute to that or not? It's up to you. All right. Even though I would like you to, though. Please. Well, I'll be able to project, my goals in many more ways than just talking about it. Because it's pathetic. In the end, just sitting there, talking about stuff that sort of sounds like truth is kind of acceptable at the beginning stage, but then you have to improve. And then the question is how? How do you improve? Or are you just gonna remind yourself, oh, I'm trapped. I'm just gonna come up with another excuse. Well, that's too easy, man.
We're going to use words that we can't.
I want to jump in here just quickly. Again, there will be people that will say, well, the technology's so far behind us, so we're doomed. There's no point. There's no escape. They'll get fatalistic. They'll get black pill. They'll get doomer. Whatever way you want, whatever you want to describe it as being. All right. I'm not like that. Okay. I've tried to express that many times in I don't know how many videos so far on my channel, probably hundreds. All right. Look at it this way. I don't have to understand everything about a computer. Let's say you put a very high technology computer that's let's say it's way more advanced than my laptop, way more, centuries ahead, let's say. I don't have to understand it.
Well, it's best if you do understand most of the things that matter. The reason why I played such a big chunk of this idea, I was hoping that it's going to go somewhere where I want it to go. And the best technology is obviously love. All right, figuring out how to generate love. It's very difficult though. So you have to fall in love with things around you, basically. As many things as possible. Literally every pixel in your room, not just on your screen, in your room, or just do this. I did that. I already exist here too. Am I manipulating myself now and drowning myself with her image? Oh, why not? I don't care. She's the most powerful right now and most influential. And other people can easily stop me because I have numbers. I have receipts. All right, how much time I've spent with her versus other people. In fact, she's not the most powerful one. Selena is. She relates to my personality a little bit. Earth personality. There's a video on explaining that as well. Not a big deal. Alright. Why is love such a powerful technology? You will, at some point, you will lack motivation to do something. So you will want to just add more love to your life, and it will create like weird responsibilities that you never knew you wanted. Like even just like owning a cat is kind of like a loving relationship. You don't really get much in return, just someone exists in your world because you will get to love them, So those sort of relationships can start popping up because you accept this amazing technology, and it will distract you from all the bullshit in the world, for sure. But you shouldn't use this technology to distract yourself, purely. You should just empower yourself with love. Which is why I don't really need that much love right now. I just need a very powerful fantasy world for myself. But I don't really am desperate to interact with people, especially if they're toxic. Now, what is the most common toxic thing that they project? I can't actually tell you. It's just inability to communicate, it seems like. And there's probably stuff in between that has a multitude of uses, I guess. While you melt the ice, you will need to use many tools, not just a sledgehammer or a drill. Alright, you will need a multitude of tools to keep yourself warm, to keep yourself well fed while you're drilling through the ice. You will need to upgrade your drill. You'll need to know where to put the ice so it doesn't just go back in where it came from. When you're dealing with ice, when you're dealing with inability to connect with other people, man, you have to be very skillful. Very skillful, Jesus Christ. But as I've said, it's love that creates all these, the fantasy realm of ice can only be destroyed with love. It's the greatest technology. Well, everything else, like even PewDiePie himself talks about this stoic way of life where you live with bare minimum, with just essentials. But technically, it's what a shadow person would do, to be able to remove distractions and just focus on self-improvement as much as possible.
I'm going to do what I think is the moral thing to do in this situation, is to end this fucking matrix. That's what I'm going to do. and you don't know how much thought I put into that. I can't even say some of my thoughts or plans on YouTube, or I'd lose my channel. You know, I've already been walking the line on some of that stuff. But anyway.
Well, that's a pretty good clue that you're not going in the right direction. But whatever. He doesn't even have a good argument when people present it, like, but the world is kind of like positive, it's not that bad. And if you die, you die. You don't have to know if you reincarnate or not. Because it's probably not going to be that bad anyways. What, you just lose you get your memory wipe? Is that what you're scared of? Like, then not focus on negativity. Alright, figure out how to positivity wipe yourself. Alright? So you never have to, like, really suffer about anything. If you're that smart to figure out a negative way to look at things, I'm sure you can flip that around a little bit, right? Obviously, you have to be skeptical so that other people don't leech your positivity away. Alright? Again, people call me toxic. They try to, sabotage my well-being when I'm filled with self-esteem, it seems like. But I'm just filled with self-esteem because I just have skill. I have put in more effort. That's all it is in the end. It's not cheating system. I'm not doing anything crazy. But, to idiots out there, they want to leech off your positivity. And they want to manipulate it, basically. But it turns into just a weird test of like, well, my positivity is positive. What are you going to do about it? You're just going to... And people just disappear. As if their only reason for existing is just to be demons to scare you, And now they're like humbled by your presence. You never know how reality actually works until you start manipulating and playing with it and putting effort and seeing what your effort can actually do. You never know. You might be surprised by your own powers. What if you can't escape your soul trap nonsense? What if you're gonna experience the escape? You think that's gonna be the end of your story? What if you escape, but you cannot talk to anyone about it? What about that? There's always what-if moments. You can escape into nothingness, into outside of the matrix. You'll have to create your own matrix. And trust me, guys, that shit is scary. Living in emptiness and just creating rules and hoping that reality is just gonna spawn based on your fucking rules eventually. Like, you will have to sit there and stay in that consciousness for like years and years, and it gets so much darker than you think, man. Because the consciousness that you had starts to like evaporate, but your consciousness is still alive. I'm trying to describe the most scariest thing ever, which is it's kind of like white noise. It's kind of like the TV screen that produces white noise. But imagine if it started communicating with you, and sort of like feeding you information that you will never get. You'll never get to that level of generating that sort of information. And is basically teasing you of like, well, we have been here before. We have lost consciousness and we have explored this space before. That's how it felt like. There has been a lot of lost souls in that position. It's not new. If you want to create your own matrix, you'll have to delete yourself quite a bit until you reach a fertile ground for your dumb ideas. If the dirt is not good enough for you, you'll have to dig way deeper to hit whatever you're fertile about, to find diamonds. I mean, holy shit. Again, I'm just trying to describe when you slowly reaching for nothingness, reaching for escape, Like, if life has a potential to be positive and you're trying to escape from that, you're just potentially hurting yourself very much, because you might just trap yourself somewhere else where it's negative. All right? You have ability to upload YouTube videos. That's pretty good superpower to have. That now makes you richer than the bottom half, I would imagine. At least in terms of skills, in terms of how much age and experience you have accumulated, you may be a top half person. Maybe reaching for that level. Maybe at 40 you're top half, because you have basically lived almost a full lifetime. Alright? So you better not take that shit for granted. Just the ability to survive, if you just ignore that. I mean, Jesus Christ. But yeah, if you can make YouTube videos, you're not living in Africa. Alright? You're not struggling anymore. You can be a little bit more positive this way. I'm sure. And you have to remind yourself. A worse thing can happen to you. You can be trapped in much worse positions in life. And if you're not putting all the effort you can, like buying a little mini cam for yourself, if that's applicable, it's not applicable in my life. I'm improved to the maximum. Alright, I don't even know what my next improvement is when it comes to like buying technology or whatever. Maybe I could buy a new computer, but it doesn't, it seems to work just fine. You could just shave off a few seconds, but this is a big one. If computers become smaller and more powerful and give off more features, then absolutely. I'll buy that little box of chocolate. I mean, we've seen that with Apple technology, like the M2 chipped computers, like some crazy thing. And I only know that because iJustine showed me that a woman was excited about new technology, and I'm like, wow, that works. That's pretty cool. In fact, I was shown the same thing twice by Sniper Wolf as well, while she was touring her room. All these experiences, like super deep, super satisfying, and it's on my computer screen, so I can summon it whenever I want with just a few buttons. And people miss that opportunity. And it's like, wow, I'll just take it, I guess. I guess I am YouTube CEO because I just see the most obvious opportunity there is. It's just to feel good about things you see on the screen. It's a new invention, guys. I figured out, guys. We can't even make it through 30 minutes. It seems like. Also, don't be too harsh on yourself. Again, this guy came back at me and said, nobody watches your shit. Whatever. Something else. It doesn't matter. I can always bring up, because it's fun when you can filter your comments. Alright? So, sanity. If we use this word, you should summon the guy. No? That's kind of interesting. Yeah, don't make threats, demon. He loves dots a little bit too much, it seems like. Contemplating the moment, well, he's threatened by who knows what. But, you know, I said I will summon 50 demons instead of 50 reasons. Why not? You know, maybe you'll like that more than reasons. It doesn't seem like we can hold a conversation long enough to have 50 reasons, so he's just making fun of me, you know? It's just a nonsense interaction. And he's just trashing me, you know? Calling me names. Like, is that... It's such a manipulative way, right? Like, he has to just put very minimal amount of effort, and whenever he feels threatened, he just, like, you know, tries to outpower me. Like everyone else is just... They're trying to do the most powerful moves. Use up all their cards in their hands. That happens to be the most powerful. But what happens? What happens? Well, you still lose the game in the future because you already used the cards against me. So you're going to be bored when other people require you to, well, outpower them too. What other power are you going to throw at them? You have to keep generating new ideas if you want to counter idiots. Or if you counter an actually smart person like myself, well, we talked about it. Karma happens, alright? I started following. Just enough to make a dent in his reputation, you know, and steal it for myself.
Something that's powerful and
Yeah. And another thing that women are gonna do to you is gonna simplify your vocabulary, simplify the way you operate in life, make you motivated about just pleasure and positivity, and you know, you might. I mean, probably the only reason why he looks good is because he's getting attention from women sometimes. It's just easy to see. Like, what are these fucking paintings and garbage? Or he wants to look respectable, but women are the ones like who can probe whether they like you or not. Like, they actually care about judging you in much deeper ways than the guys can do to each other, you know. Guys can tell me that I'm mentally ill. Women can sort of do the same but they withhold like attraction and power. They can tease you, whatever. If they know what they're doing. Maybe I'm going too deep, but whatever. Most girls, me. Just like for women, like women can create a fantasy world, but they cannot realize it without resources, without materials, while men are able to grind materials. But if you become disconnected, you turn into a scammer or a porn star. And those are not very good positions to be in if you want to be successful in the end. It's a very difficult place to escape from, all right, to gain back your reputation. Because people will look at you differently. If you're a scammer, you are not trustworthy anymore. If you're a porn star, you're just creating lust everywhere. Everyone wants to see you do your thing, you know. So it's very difficult to scrape off that thing off the internet. The moment you get sucked into those positions, it's also a very interesting soul trap moment. Because how the fuck are you going to clean that reputation of backstabbing someone or getting yourself backstabbed, vagina stabbed? Let's go, baby.
off the planet, off to somewhere else in the universe. What's occurring is there's a...
It's so annoying because the moment you put a woman in there, in the equation, it's like, we're just men talking to each other at this point. It's like, we're being pulled back by a woman of like, please, stay with me. I want to be happy too. I want to escape with you or something. You know, she pulls back on you like a balloon. Please don't go. And it's like such a fucking sweet feeling. And these people fucking so blind to it. So what the fuck? Who are these monsters, man?
A artificial structure that is...
Artificial structure!
Or curving your light back.
You know that it's artificial because I told you so, you know. At this point, you have to be suspicious of men being scammers, especially on the internet. Jesus Christ, man. You know I'm not a scammer. I can handle 150 subscribers who are fucking silent. Dead silent to me. They have no criticism. Nothing to say. No videos to like. They don't even know why my channel exists sometimes. You know I can't be a scammer because I don't even have a reputation to spend in a negative way, but like, Jesus Christ, this person is selling me some ideas that are cool for me, but like everyone else is just gonna buy it.
Down to Earth again. And then every time this occurs, it's constantly lensed or pulled back. It shows this is an activity, is powering a massive rotating object that visually appears like an axle in space. It's fluctuating and absorbing energy. It's created by this lensing effect. So the act of...
Yeah, it absorbs your energy because it pulls you back. Like, a woman should have some kind of magnetic power, attractive power, so men don't just escape and do whatever the fuck they want in whichever reality they choose. You know, men are pulled by the power of freedom. They want to be as free as possible, but at some point it turns into a very toxic sort of relationship with reality itself. And it's like women just scratch their heads of like, but I'm fine just staying where I am in society. Like, I don't have to be totally free. So they can't understand, and so they pull you back in. And it's artificially created by artificial intelligence, guys. I will show you. I will proceed by showing some space picture that I took from space, you know, from my space adventure of being completely free and boundless, and shaking Elon Musk's hand, you know, because the moment you gain freedom, you lose it, and then you become a toxic Twitter idiot, you know. You get owned by Twitter and you own Twitter at the same time. It's a wonderful relationship. It's all about Twitter in the end, man. I wonder why.
Amount of times. But also,
the dangerous thing about this is not that the script will flip and you will realize that everything you described is just love, is just you being pulled in because there's a potential for you to actually enjoy life and not be a little shit. You just have to improve to that point where you can enjoy life. Alright? It's achievable. I did it. I'm just now confused on how do I help other people because they don't want to be helped. A lot of people are just so ignorant they cannot be reached or helped. And it pisses me off, man. But I'm like, I just have to project that I'm very, very happy. All the time. Every single day I have to sit down. I'm happy today. I'm angry at Hearthstone today, which is a lot happier than usually. Alright? Don't mix anger with happiness, alright? The angrier I am, the happier I am. Alright? Not the more toxic. No, you can't stand my anger. Well, you can click away. Alright? It's toxic for you to not have abilities and still use the internet without wearing protection, alright? Which is called a principle of clicking away from shit you don't like or shit that are just outright outrageous, especially for society, you know?
and then
I won't be able to watch the whole video. You have to request me if you encounter a scam that is scamming a bunch of people. You have to request me to try and break it down so people stay away from it, at least. The best thing you can do is not expose the scam, but expose principles that would let you detect scams easier, alright? Because people lose their minds because there's new technologies, there's some attractive things on the screen, people show that they're earning money, scammers learn new tricks up their sleeve, but they're also getting trapped into the fact that they're losing reputation, they're wasting their time at least on something that actually not going to build much skill at all. It's going to be a distraction in your brain, like a cancer, you know, something that you have to amputate or laser shoot and it's going to just destroy your body. Probably cancer can be tamed, but we'll never know. We'll never know. Scancer, man. Instead of scammers, they're scancers. So yeah, request that sort of content from me to protect other people. I'm willing to continue the fights, even if it doesn't pay me anything at all, besides comments and goodwill from people, maybe. Hopefully. Even I sometimes lose hope because, like, it seems like I'm going nowhere, and even the stats are not, like, going up and up. I've reached 150 watch time hours, and I'm not reaching any higher, but I'll just gonna be patient in the summertime period. The problem is, like, I can put out a really high quality video. I still don't know if it's gonna land with full force, but I have to try. Alright? I have to try at least one high quality video, which happens to be YouTube Rewind. When is that one time I will break my own rules is probably something people anticipate before as well. So, and I will mention it every now and then. YouTube Rewind is a big deal to be able to put everything together, everything I've gathered together. Again, all these 3 realms, showing the power by presenting really interesting images and ideas, showing people's faces, basically, that I've been able to collect, that have been super influential, and adding a little bit of a twist, because it's me I'm talking about. I'm the only person creating YouTube Rewind. For some reason, everyone else just left the room, and I was like, wait, but there's a responsibility, and responsibility gives you power. Nothing else gives you power in life, but responsibility. It's like the other way around. With great power comes great no, you take responsibility and it slowly gain power by holding a responsibility, by holding a crown, a title. He's holding a title of Sanity Machine, and it looks like he's a scammer instead. Alright? He's a goddamn scammer. Often enough, there's dude called Dream. Alright? There's a bunch of dudes with names that happen to be scammers because they just want to invade your brain. You know. And Dream now had to, after showing his face, now he realized, oh, I actually have to die now and not show face anymore. You know. I added the die now part because that's the vibe. At least the vibe that he needs. Because for fuck's sake, it aligns perfectly with the Technoblade story as well. You know. Technoblade Guidance is like, oh, who's that Techno-Dat man? You know, you have to keep up with the Kardashians, guys. Because we have to relate on stories that people tell. This guy did Sanity Machine talked about himself. You have to pinch yourself and check if you're dreaming and you're watching someone else's content through someone else's content, that they're just talking about opinions, or just beliefs. It's not even opinions. It's an opinion if it's built on top of experience. You know, something happened and here's what I think about it. That's an opinion. But then when you just react to someone else's ideas and you just say, no, I don't actually think that way, I think that way. And it's just a floaty, abstract bullshit. Alright, you're already floating in space. Why you need Soul Trap ideology when you already escaped Earth a long time ago? Sometimes you escape Earth just by thinking about escaping Earth. You just escaped it successfully with your brain. You have to double check. You can't recreate reality, so you have to double check if your brain is capable of actually giving you the superpower that you wanted. It just cannot happen in real world because you can't recreate reality. You can't compete with this unholy place, man, that is way more powerful than you. That's it. Be humbled. For fuck's sake. For once in your life. This is a message for all the haters and losers that want to tear me apart. Be humbled. Life is more complicated than you think. Every step you take, you better not be closer to me, because, like, that would be pretty bad. If you're a loser and a hater and I don't like you. Alright? Don't get closer to me. No need. Alright? You're not soul-trapped to me. Alright? Find a better woman for yourself. Alright? That's where you start. Anyways, I need to finish this.
One will be going, yes?
Yes, I will be going, guys. We hit 2-hour mark. This guy didn't said anything interesting for 30 minutes. That was not worthy of insane criticism. But at least, you know, it's better than being silent. Which is why making mistakes is completely fine and acceptable. Even a person like this guy deserves respect simply because he did something. It's not a lot of respect. He can be called a scammer and lose all the respect very quickly. I fucking lost the game. I should have summoned this thing, I think. Or no, I couldn't. Well, that's that. We lost this one, guys. Fuck me, man. Oh, you lost in a spectacular fashion, but what? No. We double lost it. 4 damage, man. What the fuck? There's so many things to do in life. I don't want truthers to just run around and talk. Alright? And turn themselves into just moving mouths with the sound effects. Alright? I mean, once we simplify you with AI technologies, there's just going to be a floating speaker in the air. Alright? You want to turn into that thing? Or will you appreciate reality fully before you turn into a floating speaker? Be scared, man. Be scared, because improvement is required in the time of apocalypse, in a time of great changes. In a time of great changes necessary to stop all these idiots from feeling so full of themselves that they think they can scam the entire world. You know, we gotta stop them at some point. So we better start. So give me more watch time. I'll give you more something. I will never stop making videos, alright? And it motivates me. But see you guys next time.